Hello and welcome back to Let's Play Alundra. On the last episode we killed Zazon, the Merg leader, and recovered the 4th and 5th of the 7 crests that we need to take the fight directly to Melzes himself, so things are looking pretty up for our heroes. The only thing we need to do now is basically make our way back to Anoa and wait for the game to explain to us what we're supposed to do next. Most likely, given the formula for the game so far, usually alternating between Crest and Dream dungeons, but this one being an exception because we're basically picking up crests from dungeons we already ran into. We should actually be up to another regular crest dungeon, and that in fact will be the case as soon as we make it all the way back. I'm just going to show this little bit of returning down the Merg tree itself. I'm not going to show going all the way back to Anoa. I just want to have a little opportunity to set the stage for the next video. I'm going to be spending this episode basically picking up things that we still have left to do in the overworld, so there's basically nothing remaining. Let's skip straight to Anoa, by the way. Yeah, here we go. The game is giving us our clue pretty unsubtly, I would say, the ground shaking as soon as we get into the village, so I guess now we have to find someone to tell us what to do. Unfortunately, there is, in fact, nobody alive outside of the houses right now, which is a little strange. There's basically only 2 people you can expect to always be in their house unless it's a significant plot scene. That's Eustil, the fortune teller, and Naomi, the shopkeeper. Now, Eustil will just tell us to go to whoever we're supposed to talk to next, because that's her job. So obviously the only place we can go, if it's not Eustil, is Naomi, and fittingly enough she will in fact give us our next clue. Mount Torla erupted, which is the mountain in the northeast of the world map. That's obviously the eruption that we found, and in case things aren't clear enough, now we're going to get another series of hints from Yuri, who's off wandering for a rare herb. That rare herb will never benefit us in any way, shape, or form. It's just a MacGuffin to basically give Yuri a reason to be over where the next plot device is. He'll also give us the hint that we need to pick up the Ice Manor. Similar to how we needed the Fire Wand to get through the Merg Tree, we will need the Ice Wand to get through Mount Torla. It is a volcano, so it follows pretty closely that we need some kind of ice-related item to get through it. Of course, we already did that several episodes ago. We'll leave and head to Mount Torla, but first thing I'm going to do is head back to the Carnival, the casino, and the Riverside pub, and pick up the last 2 Gilded Falcons so there aren't any loose ends left to tie up here for later. We can just enjoy the story. Remember, if we clear all the games 3 times in a row, we will now get a Gilded Falcon in addition to the life vessel we got for clearing it the first time. So now we'll do it for the shooting gallery, we'll leave and do it again for the slime arena. We already did it for the lottery, the roulette, quite some time ago. The most annoying thing about doing this is that the slimes do hurt you, and fighting them 3 times in a row does make you take a lot of incidental damage. I came pretty close to dying, but I guess it's okay. Anyway, let's show off the menu screen, because now that we've picked up those 2 Gilded Falcons, we have 45. That is a multiple of 5, meaning it's now time to go back to Captain Merrick's place and pick up the last known reward, the last life vessel that we're going to get from him. They'll give us 46 life vessels and 45 falcons. As usual, the remaining dungeons each have 1 Gilded Falcon and 1 life vessel in them, meaning there probably is 1 Gilded Falcon left for us to pick up, and we'll go ahead and do that right after we pick up this life vessel. It'll give us a refill on a health for all that damage from slimes, and we'll get to see for the first time the Spirit Wand. Now, we don't know what that does. Merrick doesn't tell us. It's not in the instruction booklet. But you can imagine it's got to be pretty good if you require every Falcon in the game to pick it up. And it is, in fact, going to be just as good as advertised. Just wait a few more dungeons and we'll find out for sure. Now, I'm going to skip to the water wheel area and just starting there just to set the scene for where we're going now, in case you're looking for this Gilded Falcon on your own. Those of you who know the game top to bottom have probably been screaming at me for not picking this up quite a long time ago, because there's this little cave right here in the north that you can just hit with a bomb. All you need is the merman boots to finish this little area. I don't think anything causes it to be revealed, like due to the plot or whatever. You can just go in here whenever. I just didn't, I don't know why. So we can kill these little guys. If we kill all 5 of these slimes, there'll be an extra treasure chest to drop down. But again, we haven't actually used the consumable item in a really long time now that we have the water magic and 3 magic seeds. So again, I'm just showing these to point out where you can pick up some of these for free. I mean, we also have 9,999 Gilder now that we did the carnival games a few more times, so we don't even need money to refill our items from the store. And we'll kill this guy. I used the flail to get here, so I happen to have it equipped. In this chest, it contains the 46th Gilded Falcon. It's the last remaining overworld falcon. Everything else, falcons and life vessels, are all found in dungeons. So let's head out. Now I'll skip to basically set the scene for the next dungeon crawl. As soon as I get out of this cave, we're going to be heading back to the north, just like Yuri and Naomi said. So let's leave the dungeon, and here we are. So now we're just south of Magiskar. Just included the sign so you can see absolutely for certain where we are. There's the flag right outside Magiskar. This sign, I think I've read before, tells you that Torla Mountain is right here to the northeast. We've passed by this area many, many, many times, and you might be wondering why we never saw the actual entrance to Mount Torla, and I will show you. The first thing we need to do is get around this little mountain area, and it's actually pretty hard to platform, especially that little jump right there where you have to go around a corner. It just gets a little awkward considering how Alundra gets hung up on them so often. Cross this bridge to the east, and you can pick up these two chests here. Again, I will show them just to show you what's inside them. We obviously don't need it anymore. Strength tonic, which is, not very exciting at all, and an herb, which again, even less exciting. I don't even know why those are together. Anyway, look at these little stones here on the floor. If we approach it now, this wouldn't have happened before we saw the cutscene about the earth shaking and Torla exploding. But now we can jump across these little water spouts, make them shoot into the air, and we can reach this little entrance in the north cliff face. Now we can enter Torla Mountain. Now, of course, this is a volcano-themed area, so we're going to want to assume we're going to want to equip the Ice Wand. We're actually going to get a lot of mileage of the Fire Wand here, too, just a lot of elemental-themed puzzles. We're also, in a minute, going to want to equip, Navis Charm. We're not supposed to have this. You don't get the clue as to how to pick it up in Cephas' house until very close to the end of the game. But we're going to basically abuse the fact that we picked it up early and cheated a little bit to make this engine a lot easier for ourselves. You'll note that that gate is closed. The game is tricking us a bit. You have to put out one of the torches in order to actually open that gate. You're only supposed to light the one on the left. I guess it's part of sort of standard gamer methodology to hit both of them for completeness. Yeah, it's a bit of a trick there. Anyway, thankfully this puzzle is not something we're going to see a lot of in this dungeon. What you're going to have to do is take these fire phantoms and hit them with the Ice Wand to make floating platforms for yourself. It's okay if they stay pretty low to the ground. It's actually pretty easy to get onto the little door we're supposed to get into over here. There is a more aggravating form of this puzzle later on, but it's still not that bad, I think. Anyway, here's our save point, so I'll just show the inside of the save area. We can refill our magic, because I still haven't done that since we left the Merg Tree and the fight against Zazon. We haven't really needed to refill our health. In fact, we probably don't need to refill our health at all this entire dungeon. It isn't really obvious, but what Navis Charm does is basically make you immune to fire-based attacks. We still take damage from standing on lava, but anything fire-based, touching fire phantoms, jets of fire, the fire from the turtles, will do 0 damage to us. I'll show this right now. I'll just walk into one of them. Yeah, see, I took no damage whatsoever from walking into that guy's attack. Plus, they're all weak to the Ice Wand, so if you keep the two of those equipped most of this dungeon, it's sort of absurdly easy to get through here. I guess I get a little lazy getting this area just because it's so easy. Yeah, you take 1 point of damage for walking into the lava. Not a big deal at all. You can turn these off by by standing on them, jumping on them 3 times. But that's really only for, your own, convenience, because the only real threat is that they might knock you off the platform. This we can do a little bit later, but I might as well do it now just to have it. If you pick up this little chest here right in the middle of the lava pit, you'll get the 47th life vessel. It's nice that the little sign said only idiots pass this point, but I guess if you're going for 100% completion in a video game, tends to mean there's something wrong with you. Anyway, let's head back over here to the left, and we're going to now take the upper of the 2 platforms. Previously, obviously, we just went down to the lower one. That was, in fact, because I was going for the life vessel, and not because I got knocked off the side by the fire phantom. Although, they did make my life a little easier. Heading in here, we can jump across this way. That chest just contains, I believe, either a Wonder Essence or some stupid consumable healing item that we still no longer have any use for. Now we want to head to the north past these jets. Generally speaking, if you ever see an obstacle in your way and you're not sure where to go, the game is usually directing you towards that obstacle as long as it looks passable. You want to sort of loop around. Yeah, see, the fire does still cause impact damage, but it's not really something to worry about. It just doesn't cause regular damage. We did take a lot of damage from from standing in the lava previously, so I guess I do need to be a little bit concerned about my health. So, now we're going to face Phoenixes, which is sort of the primary new enemy for this dungeon. Again, they can't actually damage us while we have Navis Charm equipped, but we do need to kill these guys in order to get that gate to open in the north part of the room. That chest contains a Wonder Essence, so that we don't need right now. Again, it's always nice to know where the healing items are in case we run out of health, but it's so hard to take damage in this dungeon with Navis Charm that you basically have to be trying to do it. The only real aggravation is hitting these guys just because they happen to fly in the air, and again, due to the depth perception issues with this game, sometimes it's hard to tell if you're lined up with them or not, or if you're on the same sort of vertical plane. They do go down in only a single hit of the Ice Wand. You don't even need to use a charge attack. I was just doing it because it keeps me busy. and sort of drowns out the sound of the phoenix's screeching. This is the more aggravating form of the Fire Phantom puzzle I was talking about a little bit earlier. We're going to hit these two ice columns to get over here to the upper area of this room, and this is going to look very similar in principle to what we saw in the third room, but in fact it's a little bit more difficult. You actually have to ride these up repeatedly by letting them unfreeze and basically continuing to ride them up back and forth. There's no real hurry. The Fire Phantoms actually don't defrost while you're standing on them, so you really have all the time in the world to do this. The easy way to do this, in my opinion, is just go back and forth on the second and third Fire Phantoms, because those are the two that travel most closely below the exit to the area, which you can see on the north side of the room. So that's basically what I'm going to try to do. I mean, I made some effort in this area to go back and forth, you know, using Phantom 1 through 4 and then 4 through 1 backwards, but it really isn't worth it. Just use the consecutive ones. Eventually you'll get into the rhythm of it. It takes a little while to get used to it, but really I'm only being cautious here because it's very frustrating if you fall all the way down to the bottom. Take a couple points of damage from being in the lava. It just aggravates me. Alright, so this is pretty straightforward. There's a little block there, you know, same as every other block that's been in our way every other time we've ever had to solve a puzzle in this game. And there's a bunch of torches. So, first thing you want to do is satisfy your gamer's urge to light every torch in the game. You'll notice the path off there to the left, there's nothing there. I don't even know what's in there, if there's a chest or something. Whatever it is, oh, I'm sorry, it's actually the exit to the room. It just looks like a place we can get to. So we actually do need to be on that block. What you want to do now, with little the torches and lower the block, is to put all the torches out except one. We're going to put all the torches out and then ride the block up to the next ledge up. So we're just going to put them all out. We're going to put all of them out except the one that we can reach from the platform near the block itself. Get this one right here. Now we're going to go back to the main platform, very quickly put out the last torch, and then jump onto the platform to ride it up. The hint to this is that there's a rock on the platform, which you can't actually use to get anywhere except, you know, up to the exit itself. Now we've got some phoenixes. They're pretty easy to kill if you get them right when they spawn, because they're still very low down. If they actually get around a little bit, then they can sort of take off into a higher altitude, and they get a little bit harder to kill. But again, still manageable. We're going to kill all of them, and then we can ride that little hole down to the next area. We're basically looking for the item we need to finish this dungeon. Not every item in Alundra, not every dungeon in Alundra contains, you know, a key item like Zelda does, but the ones that do, I mean, they tend to be pretty important. So coming down here, we actually get to a water area. This might be like a caldera or something. I don't know. I think it's interesting. It's also a one-way path because of the waterfall. We can kill these guys. I don't think it's actually necessary to do so, but it makes things a little bit less hazardous because this is like one of the only things in the dungeon that can actually do serious harm to us, since it's not directly, since the puke slimes aren't directly fire-based. Anyway, jump over here to the east, hit this switch, and then jump on this very slow floating platform, which you can ride over to the path to the south, and that will actually take us to the dungeon item as soon as we get there. And what the heck is it? So you may recall that we used to get boot upgrades every once in a while. We're about to pick up the final boot upgrade in the game, the charm boots. So we'll explore the rest of it in the next episode of Let's Play Alundra. I will see you then. Cheers.